Hello, Stu.
Glenn, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sad this morning.
Oh, no.
I'm so sad. I read a story in USA Today about a young woman full of promise, wide-eyed, probably, has an Instagram bio that says future doctor, dream chaser, coffee addict, and how she's being deported today along with her family. And she's heartbroken. She's heartbroken. And why is she heartbroken? Well, because America's cruel, quite honestly. We've lost our compassion, America. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have a lot of compassion, because her dad firebombed a Jewish family, an old Jewish woman and other people, and the skin was falling off of their legs, taken to the hospital. I don't have a lot of compassion there. I don't. And I'm not one to say, hey, everybody has to pay for the sins of the father. But, when you're here illegally, and Islamicism seems to be kind of like a family trait, They get a whole family involved. Mom likes to, strap explosives onto their children. Dad is already on tape going, Islam is more important than even my children. I wish they'd blow themselves up or something like that. I don't have a lot of sympathy for it. I want them out, Maybe that's just me, Okay, so you set a few Jewish people on fire. Minor detail. I mean, who hasn't, committed an act of terrorism before breakfast, So let me just recap this little hallmark moment that you might have missed. In Colorado, a man whose visa had expired, not once, but twice, and not here on a work visa, on a tourist visa. He's here as a tourist. 2022, they come in as a whole family. We just want to tour America, and then they stay. And then he starts, filling bottles up with gasoline and stuffing rags in it. Okay. When he overstays his visa, then he decides, to do what all grateful immigrants would do when given a second, third, and fourth chance here in America, throw Molotov cocktails at Jewish people, because nothing says, hey, thanks for your hospitality, like arson, For Father's Day, let your dad know he matters. Get him a gift from American Giant. They make clothing here at home with American cotton, American hands, and American heart. It's quality you can feel. Go to american-giant.com/Glenn and get 20% off your first purchase. That's american-giant.com/Glenn. A Holocaust survivor. She outlived Auschwitz. Yeah, but she couldn't really outlive that little march there in Colorado. And now ICE has made this monstrous decision. You ready? ICE, these monsters, are thinking about sending the whole family back to Egypt. Well, not the whole family. I think we should keep Dad here for a while, maybe the rest of his life. Now, can you hear it? The tiny little violins? Yes, they're playing. They're not even American violins. They're Egyptian violins, slightly out of tune. But the daughter says, I'm devastated because I was planning on attending a medical school here. I just want to be a doctor. Oh, that is heartbreaking. But you know what? America's loss is Egypt's gain. So, and if your hospital is ever low on burn cream, she's going to know where to find it. I'm sure she can spot, wow, that's third-degree burns. How do you know, doctor? Well, Dad was setting Jews on fire, so I'm pretty up to speed on that. Now, just to clarify something for those who are trying to square this circle, this isn't some random deportation. This isn't the ICE agents breaking into a third-grade classroom and dragging away honor students. This is a man who set people on fire, who brought his family here as tourists, and they overstayed. And then, while they were here as tourists, they decided to break the law even further and like, you know what? I'm going to apply for medical school. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't think you get the second hole punch, on your green card after you go full Hamas on the streets anywhere in America, Now, I saw some people on X, formerly known as the Ministry of Empathy, saying, we don't make a daughter pay for the father's sins. Really? Really? Because, I don't know. What is it about white people? Let's see. I didn't own slaves. In fact, my great-great-grandparents fought for the freedom of slaves in America. And yet, I'm still smeared with the sin of slavery. And nothing will ever wash me clean of that sin. So please don't preach to me about we don't make the daughter pay for the father's sins. You're not even talking about my father. You're talking about my great-great-great-grandfather, who I don't even know. And he didn't have any slaves. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so let me just play this out. Okay, play this out with me. So Dad throws flaming bottles into a crowd, and the system says, yeah, I know you're here illegally, but you got to stay. No, I don't think that's justice. I think that's more franchise opportunity for terrorism. So imagine your dad walks into a hospital and stabs the nurses. And your complaint is, but I was going to intern there this summer. No, the hospital didn't want me to intern there. It was because, oh, gosh, Doogie Firestarter, MD, I feel bad for you. I do. Ugh. I am really not one for making the children pay for the father or the mother's problems. I'm not. But I'm sorry, you were here as a guest. You were here as a tourist. You knew you were here as a tourist. Why are you applying for college? You're a tourist. You can't go to college here. I mean, I have sympathy. I am a dad, I know this woman didn't throw the bomb, But if we're letting people stay based on potential alone, I got a long line of liberty-loving Amish kids that might want to get into that doctor line. You know what I mean? Like to skip some of the paperwork. And here's the thing. The minute your dad made the conscious choice to, recreate Kristallnacht in Colorado, I think he avoided the family's warranty. I think we're like, you know what? That's not covered. That's the moment the dream dies for you and your family. Not because of our cruelty, but because of his cruelty. I know that's a concept for people on the left. They're like, wait a minute, what? We're going to make all the white people pay for the sins they didn't do, but not this person whose dad, where they're still living together, just set people on fire and they're here illegally. We can't make that happen. And now we're expected to feel guilt because the aspiring doctor has to go to med school in Egypt. Oh. In Egypt? Isn't that where, let's be honest, the most common first aid advice is don't say anything the government might hear. Look, America is many, many things, but it is not a country that hands out permanent residency to arsonists and their plus ones. Oh, arsonists? Yes, I've got the plus one. No. You want opportunity? You want safety? Don't set people on fire. You want your kids to, have a brighter future? Don't come here illegally. Don't come here illegally as a tourist, then overstay your visa 2 times, and then set people on fire. I don't know. It's not that complicated. It seems like a pretty easy rule. I've never had a problem keeping that rule, Don't set people on fire. Never had a problem with that one, And I'm sure it's hard to leave. Sure. But you want to be able to have your case heard by a federal judge because you're now claiming that you need asylum. Wait. Asylum from Egypt, and you're Egyptian, and you're Muslim. Pretty staunch Muslim, I'm guessing. More of a Islamist than just a Muslim. I'm pretty sure Islamists are really quite popular, in the home of the Muslim Brotherhood. I'm just saying. What are you running from? Other Islamists? Oh, I know. Gosh, in Egypt, they just love Jews so much that when you get back to Egypt, they're going to be, your father set Jews on fire. And what? They won't throw you a parade? What exactly are you running from? Bull crap. Bull crap. You're not running from anything. Well, except for the truth. And probably, well, no, that woman that your dad set on fire, she was elderly, so she's probably not able to chase you. I don't even know if she could chase you or stop, drop, and roll. She was pretty old. But thanks for bringing that to the streets of America. This is not cruelty. This is common sense, period. You know, if we don't draw a line after somebody lights a literal match, what exactly are we protecting here? So, to the daughter, goodbye, good luck. Don't let the door hit you on the big, fat Egyptian ass on the way out. I'm sorry. And you know what? Next time you visit a country for a little vacation, you might want to make sure nobody in the family's packing some firebombs. You know? That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one. Come on, America. You're smarter than this. Don't fall it. I know you're not. I just can't take how many stupid people are around. I can't take it anymore. Can't.